Welcome back, Nerd Squad, to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers. If you happen to be new to the channel, we put out daily videos on everything Marvel, DC, and nerd-centric, so hit that subscribe button to never miss another video. Plus, leave us a comment down below with who your favorite member of the Justice League is. And while you ponder that, let's jump into today's list of the top 10 scary Justice League stories. Number 10, Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel is a Justice League storyline written by Mark Waid and illustrated by Howard Porter. The series follows the events of Grant Morrison's World War III and literally spells out the worst case scenario of what happens when a villain causes planet-wide chaos, to the extent that not even the Justice League of America could stop it. The storyline has villain Ra's al Ghul stealing contingency plans from Batman and using it to take out the rest of the team. For starters, this leads to the rest of the Justice League to distrust Batman. Here's where things get really scary. Ra's uses this technology to interrupt the language processing center of every brain on the planet, which leads to the disturbance of all communication planet-wide. Every word in written language suddenly becomes unreadable to the human brain, causing government facilities to fall into chaos. In at number 9, A Midsummer's Nightmare. In the world of the comic book storyline in Midsummer's Nightmare, we find the Justice League leading the normal lives they had always been denied. At first we're like, oh, good for them, that's nice. However, the repercussions of this are not so nice. In this universe, the world's greatest superheroes become powerless, but regular citizens begin to show remarkable abilities. This fantasy world has the likes of the Justice League trapped with zero memory of who they truly are. Ultimately, each of them will figure out that something is wrong with this world, and as they investigate further, the team discovers that all of this is because of the evil Dr. Destiny. Eventually, the Justice League figures out they must work together to stop the manipulative Doctor and combine their strength to bring back the team. In at number 8, Heroes in Crisis. Heroes in Crisis is really summed up well by that name. In this scary Justice League storyline, we find a string of murders happening at the Sanctuary, with the only suspects being Harley Quinn and Booster Gold. The series is a bit of a murder mystery which has more than a dozen heroes suddenly being found dead. There's a back and forth narrative between Booster Gold and Harley Quinn that were witnesses to the events, although just because we hear their sides doesn't mean they're both telling the truth. Unsolved superhero murders with teammates turning on one another makes this storyline even scarier to read through. It's the feeling of not knowing who's telling the truth and the building of separate narratives throughout the miniseries that keep you on edge. And at number 7, Identity Crisis. Written by Brad Meltzer, the Identity Crisis storyline uses all of Meltzer's thriller novelist skills in creating the perfect murder mystery involving the Justice League. The story has everything you'd want in a comic book: murder, betrayal, intrigue, and a deep look into the secret identities of the Justice League members. When elongated man spouse Sue Dibney is murdered in their apartment, it leads to the entire superhero community searching for her killer while also fearing for the lives of their own loved ones. It's that fear of their spouses or friends becoming the next victim that keeps this story in that scary category for the Justice League. To make matters worse while trying to solve this mystery, a whole slew of secrets threaten to divide the team before they can find out who the killer really is. Brad Meltzer does a superb job of showing that even superheroes have secrets that ultimately force them to pay a terrible price for just trying to do good. And at number 6, the Nail series. As the title suggests, it's literally a nail that shatters the potential future for Superman. 24 years in the past, a flat tire caused by a nail on the truck of Jonathan and Martha Kent stopped them from ever discovering that Kryptonian spaceship with baby Superman. As such, the present day team only consists of Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash, Hawkwoman, the Atom, Martian Manhunter, and the Green Lantern. A lot goes down without Superman being there to carry most of the team. The Joker lets out prisoners in Arkham Asylum with these energy generating gauntlets that he also uses to trap Batman and kill both Robin and Batgirl. Wonder Woman becomes not so wonderful when she's framed for destroying the White House, which leads to rioting. This outbreak in disorder and chaos ultimately leads to Lex Luthor controlling the United States and using flying robots to enforce his laws. Talk about a scary world. In at number 5, Forever Evil. Forever Evil is the ultimate in crossover comic book storylines, which has the crime syndicate taking over and opening up every major prison on the planet. In the first meeting of their secret society, the syndicate invite an army of villains. This is the moment where the Justice League Watchtower is destroyed by Despero. Things get scary for the public and the reader as well when Ultraman announces amongst the chaos that the Justice League is now dead. This announcement is followed by the explanation that now everyone must swear their allegiance to the Crime Syndicate. The Crime Syndicate comes from Earth 3, and with 3 of the world's superhero teams now dead, they seek villains to help them with their cause. In at number 4, Crime Syndicate of America. Now, to give you some backstory to the Crime Syndicate of America, we have to look at the 2000 JLA Earth 2 graphic novel. As I mentioned, the group from Earth 3 are supervillains part of the DC Comics parallel universe that represent what the Justice League would look like if they were pure evil. In one panel, we have Batman's counterpart Owlman actually incinerating 2 police officers who were trying to stop him. Following this brutal attack, people begin mistaking the real Justice League for the Crime Syndicate of America, which leads to massive distrust with the select few who actually seek to protect them. In at number 3, Injustice. The Injustice Gods Among Us comic book storyline is the prequel to the video game released under the same name. The comic book begins 5 years before the events of the video game and helps shed some light as to why Superman is acting so insane. The series takes place in an alternate reality that puts Superman at the center of tyranny and destruction after the Joker kills his family. Due to that loss, we got one of the darkest storylines ever for the Justice League of America. One that has Superman creating a totalitarian One Earth regime, although he's not exactly met with open arms on this decision. Batman in particular attempts to form a squad to fight back against Superman. In at number 2, Justice League Dark. This comic book series run was responsible for bringing some of the lesser known heroes into the limelight when they formed the Justice League Dark. Characters such as John Constantine, Zatanna, and Swamp Thing are never really congratulated for stopping evil, but the evil they face is much darker than what regular heroes must face. They operate on the playing field of magic and powers outside the realm of most, so that means they face the cosmic nightmares that we never get to see. These Justice League storylines never let up on the fear factor either. They just pack it full of horrific imagery and dive into the deeply unsettling mess that the heroes have to deal with. Lastly, on our number 1 spot, DC House of Horror. This comic book storyline is a terrifying mess of epic proportions, all beautifully written by some of the best horror novelists out there. In the intro, we see a horrifying crash landing of a spaceship on the Kent farm, which kills Jonathan Kent. Spoiler alert. When his wife Martha comes out because she hears noises coming from the field, she's met with loud bangs and crashes from inside of her own home. Upon re-entering the home, she's chased by this small humanoid in a red cape that chases her back outside. Before poor Martha can escape though, the alien jumps onto the hood of the car, shrieking as it throws the truck with ease across a field. Talk about a terrifying start to that comic book. And that has been the top 10 scary Justice League stories. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then show us some love by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on this list. And for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is click that playlist on the screen. From Top 10 Nerd, I'm Johnny Rogers. Until next time, take care.